Meanwhile, Somalia's President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud has visited the world's biggest refugee camp, Dadaab, situated in northern Kenya. He met with Somali refugees amid concerns over planned closures of the camp. President Mohamud also inspected living conditions there during his tour. The visit to Dadaab is the first by a sitting Somali president. In early May, Kenya announced a task force expected to oversee the repatriation of Somalis in Dadaab and Kakuma refugee complexes, citing national security concerns. However, the Somali government warned it foresees more terror attacks should Dadaab be closed against the wishes of refugees due to the volatile situation inside Somalia. Let's get you more now on this story. CCTV's Abdulaziz Bello is joining us live from Mogadishu. Abdulaziz, this is the first time, though, that a sitting Somali president is visiting the Dadaab refugee camp. What was the main agenda, though, for this visit?
Well, Beatrice, you're right. Now, this becomes the first visit of any sitting head of state here in Somalia to visit home to the biggest refugee population in the world. This is Dadaab, that is already home to more than 300,000 Somalis. Now, there's been no official comment yet from the Office of the Presidency in regards to the President's visit to Dadaab today. But the information that we have from close sources within the Presidency suggests that the main reason as to why the President went to Dadaab today was to explain to the refugees, there are 300,000 refugees indeed, that there will be no forced repatriation, and that his government and also the Kenyan government, also with the UNHCR, will work on modalities on creating a safe, secure environment back in Somalia before their return. The visit was meant rather to assure the refugees there indeed that they have the backing of the Somali government, and the visit by the President, which is the first, was meant to show the refugees indeed that their government had not forgotten about them. And then the President's timely visit to that region also comes at a time when there's so much pressure from Kenya in regards to closing of the refugee camp. Now, authorities in Somalia are saying that the President's visit was carrying a heavy message, in the sense that he was meeting both Kenyan and UNHCR officials there. He was telling them indeed that the Somali government was keen on bringing back its nationals, but they need to come up with a clear modality before they can bring them back here. And the meeting was taking place in Dadaab. That carried more weight instead of the meeting taking place in major cities around the world.
Well, Abdulaziz, though, Kenya is, as you mentioned, pushing ahead with the plan to close the camps. But is it safe, though, to say now that the closure of Dadaab is a foregone conclusion and that the refugees now have to seriously consider repatriation to Somalia?
Well, Beatrice, that has indeed become a major worry, major cause of concern here for the past few months. And now, what the President was saying today at the Dadaab there is that the Somali government was keen on bringing back its nationals, but it doesn't want a forced repatriation of its nationals from Dadaab to Somalia. It's citing the security situations that was being experienced in the past years as the main reason as to why authorities here cannot create an environment or camps so that these refugees, 300,000 of them, can be able to relocate back to Somalia. So that was the message from authorities here in Somalia to the Kenyan authorities in Dadaab. Also, Somalia is saying that Kenya should respect its international obligations and keep the camps open until Somalia can be able to accommodate its nationals back to Somalia. Well, interestingly is that the Somali president is on an official visit to Kenya and is supposed to meet tomorrow the Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta, who's been adamant about the closure of the refugee camp. So we are waiting to see what these two leaders will discuss. But already there's a mechanism in place called the tripartite agreement between Somalia, Kenya, and the UNHCR, and it's about to expire in September this year. So for now, we'll keep monitoring this situation and see what comes from the meeting tomorrow between the two presidents.
Right, Abdulaziz Bello for us there in Mogadishu.